Since life appeared on Earth, every organism is exposed to many dangers during growth and life. Danger is the possibility of a negative event. Such a negative event can be anything. For example, changes in the environment or the impact of other organisms. As a result, organisms have to adapt. Examples of these can be insects that can be completely invisible in the environment, which saves them from predators, or cactus structure features that make them reservoirs for water, which helps them to withstand the heat of 60 degrees Celsius. If organisms is unable to adapt, it is likely to die. We all know this. This is how evolution works. But now, the problem is that the environment is changing too fast, and these changes are significant. The environment is also polluted, and humans have responsibility for that. Every year the population of the planet is increasing, and the needs of people for territory, food and energy are increasing too. For many years humanity has spent natural resources without thinking about the consequences. Perhaps it is time to do it, because by changing the environment, humanity puts itself in danger as well. We all strive for a state of security. Security is a state or situation in which nothing threatens or can harm the system. Have you ever thought about whether life on Earth will be safe for humans 10 years from now? And what about 100 years? You can put the video on pause and write a list of factors that you think will determine human security on the planet. Unfortunately, there is no right answer to this question, as it is impossible to predict the future quite correctly. However, some threats to global safety have already been identified, which of course are not only environmental. So, let's take a look at some of the main threats. These can be military threats, which include global nuclear war, weapons proliferation, measures war and local conflicts. Economic and social threats are mass poverty, hunger, economic collapse, excessive population growth and pandemics. Environmental threats, which include changes in atmospheric composition, pollution of fresh water and oceans, deforestation and industrial anthropogenic threats. According to the type of threats, different safety categories are identified. In our course, we will consider environmental safety. And from all environmental threats, we will focus on those that are caused by human activity in the field of energy. I think you will agree that a lot of attention is focused on environmental threats. But why do we hear so much about ecology now? Hasn't human influence on the environment in the past? Let's look at history. In the age of primitive society, the main source of human survival was hunting and fishing. Humans were highly dependent on nature and had little influence on it. Nature was a great danger to humans. In the Middle Ages, the human impact on nature increased due to the development of cattle breeding and agriculture. High concentration of cattle on pastures caused changes in vegetation cover and displacement of wild animals from their native habitats. Land was plowed, forests were felled and burned, and landscapes in human habitats were changed. The development of industry caused an increase in the use of lands, forests, intensive exploration of fossil fuels and water resources. In addition to the depletion of natural resources, the development of industry has created a new problem: environmental pollution. The human impact on the environment has reached its highest level in recent times due to the high growth rates of all material production. Consequently, humanity has always interacted with nature, but the problem is that the current impact is incomparable to the past, and the impact is only increasing. This explains the concern of society and the increased attention to this topic. Problems that we face now are not random. They are caused by principles on which society is based. Some principles were formed under the influence of humanism ideas. For example, the human being is the supreme value, and therefore everything around must serve his needs. Knowledge and technology are power. Free economic market and the diversity of goods and services have also affected the environment situation. It has become clear that free, unregulated market is also acceleration of resource consumption, especially after transition to industrial type of production. And if earlier it was possible to explore more and more new territories and resources, now the extensive way of development is impossible. Energy is an important part of the world today. Without energy, production is impossible. Development is impossible. Life itself is impossible. Any activity is somehow connected to the energy industry. The future development of the world depends on progress in the energy sector. Existing problems in the energy industry are related not only to environmental pollution, but also to the consumption of limited natural resources. This becomes even more important in the future as the population grows. It is necessary to think about how we can control the impact of energy industry on nature and people. Can society maintain its current level of energy consumption? What resources can we use?